Hey guys, welcome back to Pop 411 Podcast, your weekly podcast for all things nerd culture. I am Ireland, and this is my fabulous co-host
Carlos. What's up, y'all?
What's up, guys? We are currently covering segments of the developer direct from Xbox for this Q1 period because it was released, and I was in a wormhole. I was deceased. No, I was just kidding. I felt like it. I've been sick for 2 weeks, so I missed it, and I've been avoiding social media like the plague that it is, so I don't get any spoilers. And now we're on number 3.
Number
We've already
3.
covered Ninja Gaiden, and we've already covered South of Midnight. So we
Which
have
was Chef's Kiss.
Chef's Kiss, but on different levels. Ben, here we are to see what we're doing.
All
on the
right.
third one. Are we doing this?
Let's
do
go.
it. Let's
Game
react to it.
3.
It's like Christmas morning. Oh, we're gonna go Sandfall Interactive.
Yes, Sandfall. I like this.
So good. Look at this. This is real life? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, bro. What engine are they building this
No,
on?
they're in
I'm like, cause that knob on this.
they're in
We are
France.
Sandfall Interactive, and welcome to our manor.
This is the second French studio.
We are a small studio based in Montpellier, France, working on our first game, Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Okay, first game.
It's a turn-based RPG set in a fantasy version of late 19th century Belle Epoque France.
Here we are.
Our grand adventure in game development actually started as a solo passion project. I wanted to create something like the JRPGs with turn-based combat I grew up with and loved, but that fully leveraged the latest tech, refreshed the genre with new features, and took place in a compelling world. I knew I needed help to realize my dream. First, I turned to a programmer I knew would get it.
Gotta have the
You and I
programmer.
started trading ideas right away, and that quickly turned into trading files back and forth. Soon, I was creating the first prototypes of the reactive turn-based system, combining real-time offense and defense element, and a cinematic battle camera system. Things really clicked when we tested the first version of those features. We felt we had something both challenging and fun.
As Tom and I went back and forth and iterated on game elements, a vision started to come together, and I shared it with an old friend from university.
Guillaume and I are both passionate gamers.
This is how it
And when he
happens.
described the project, I quit my job
you
the
and your
following
buddies.
week and joined the team without hesitation. Because I believe that in video games, success always starts with a strong creative vision. And we had that, defined by 3 core elements. A story with great emotional depth, gameplay that innovates on the classics we love, and a world that is completely original, beautiful, and immersive. We founded Sandfall Interactive on these tenets. A group of friends with a shared vision and the drive to make something.
That's a passionate group of people right there.
This too is your legacy.
Core to every great RPG is a compelling story,
Mm-hmm.
and Guillaume and I spent 4 years intensively developing and refining ours. And that started with the hook. 67 years ago, a massive slumbering paintress and a monolith appeared with no warning. Once a year, the paintress wakes and paints a number on her monolith, and everyone who has passed that age is erased. Every year, that number ticks down, and everyone dies younger and younger. Expeditions depart to kill the paintress, determined to fight until their final breath, but none have ever returned. Our story follows Expedition 33.
Expeditioners, we honor your dedication.
Guillaume and I knew early on that we didn't want to focus on good versus evil. What's interesting to us are people who, yes, are flawed, but who care deeply about each other. And conflicts arise because they have different perspectives on what needs to be done.
I'm sorry about earlier.
We wanted our story to feel dark and mature, with adult characters who feel like real people with real experiences.
I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets.
The heart of the story is about overcoming an existential threat while struggling with loss and grief. And it's rooted in the characters' relationships, both to each other and to themselves.
What are we gonna do, huh? Tell me. What are we gonna do?
In a world like this, how does one stay hopeful or make peace with their fate?
Definitely
What
dark.
duty do we owe to each other?
It's modern
or
life.
To ourselves? These questions are deeply personal to me, and they permeate the story behind the story.
Know that Lumiere fights with you. Tomorrow comes. Expedition 33.
The characters all have their own motivations and perspectives. Gustave and Lune are deeply
Okay.
invested in the expedition, even if they fight all the time. To them, the mission is tied not only to their family, it's central to their identity and purpose.
Protocol doesn't cover
There's a-
every contingency.
There's a...
You know that.
Contrast that with Ciel, whose darkest days have already happened.
What are the stars whispering to you? Actually, I'm the one whispering to them. It's something my dad and I used to do.
And Maëlle, who cares more about really living her life, not just living longer.
Gustav, are you real?
It's not all dark, though. Along the way, they meet various colorful NPCs and recruit Monoko.
Of course, like
who is a friendly but
JRPGs, right?
kinda bloodthirsty philosopher, and a fully playable character. He has a really cool battle mechanic where he can turn into the enemies he defeats.
What are you doing?
Need the foot. Aha!
Oh, he's a comedic relief.
He's very, very old and has seen many expeditions come and go. He is a Jest Troll, which are a group of playful beings who view battle as a form of meditation. They're fun and sort of ridiculous. You'll meet Monoko and many other Jest Trolls across the
He's
game.
like Bull.
And of course, there is Esquier, who is one of the oldest and lore-wise the most powerful creatures in the verse.
The derpy big one.
Powerful.
He will be your mount and help you travel to secret corners of the world.
Oh, he's like
Bring him back his special stones. You can
a travel
trigger
dude.
abilities for him to access new areas of the world and find exciting secrets.
so he's your travel.
Everyone has their own reason for joining the expedition, and each of them has their own story arc and resolution that we think players will really connect with.
In addition to a strong narrative, we had a clear vision for our own take on the genre's core gameplay. Our reactive turn-based system takes the traditional turn-based battle mechanic we love and adds real-time reaction,
Okay.
which gives combat greater intensity and dynamism. During enemy turns, you can negate all damage by dodging or parrying at the right time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Balancing turn-based with real-time mechanics took a long time to get right. During initial playtests, turn-based players often found the real-time elements too hard. Some
Yeah,
of
well,
us
I mean, they're
are
used to
still
turn-based.
traumatized by enemies from back then. We've done a lot of rebalancing since, and with a lot of iteration, we ultimately came up with a formula that we're proud of. Players who are good at real-time can take more risks, and others can counterbalance with items and strategies. A big
Okay.
part of that formula lies in the many ways you can customize your
Holy
character.
shit! Look at that tech tree.
We spend a lot of time designing each character's unique mechanics and their custom skill trees. Our
I was gonna say, their
philosophy
trees
is
are
making
insane.
Every type of playstyle viable, so
Jesus.
that everyone can have
Look at
fun
that.
with how they play the game. Each character has a unique mechanic. Maëlle switches between stances, which can ultimately boost defense or power. I personally like to make Maëlle the protector of the group, but I'm pretty much the only one at the studio who plays her that way. Most people play her as a glass cannon with Gustav's complementary skills. The characters can also equip hundreds of passive effects, which
Holy
in our
shit.
game are called Lumina.
Wow.
Every character has more than 20 unique skills in their skill tree and hundreds of passive effects they can gain through Lumina and weapons. So there are
Jesus.
tons of builds and playstyle to explore. Needless to say, we can't wait to see how you choose to play and what kinds of build you'll design that we probably never even imagined.
Look at that attention to detail on the like,
A lot of replayability.
you can go back and replay it and
Story
do
is
different
set in a
Luminas.
French fantasy world, and I was really excited to design something unique. Every level has its own color and texture identity. For
Okay, that's
example,
cool.
The Gestrel Village is an early area in the game where players can enjoy a fun break. We wanted something that feels chaotic, grungy, and toy-like.
Well, that's it.
Super
It's
cool.
basically a bazaar. Everything's disorganized,
A lot of
camps
reds.
everywhere, huts are unsafe, built without much thought. It's a place where anyone could fight you at any point. which is pretty much what the Gestrels are like.
That reminds me of like
The Gestral
It's like
village
the Star
is
Wars
hidden
approach.
inside the ancient sanctuary. The ideas
What
here
are they doing,
were
push-ups?
bars, labyrinth, and sentinels. I designed it as a vibrant place, like an old graveyard of Gestrels,
Hmm.
forgotten wooden toys in a box, with two main colors, red and white. I wanted to make it feel cozy, hidden from danger, with traps and labyrinths in case enemies get in. Same process with the characters. Minoko came in a single concept. I thought of a monkey-like body, white fur with a black and red flat mask.
Ladies, could I? Ow!
Definitely a Gestral.
Frisk, cuddly companion to
It's
take
me
us
trying to
around the
flirt.
world. I thought instantly
You called
of a
it where
giant
he's like the comic
inflatable
relief.
balloon and old Victorian pillows with many intricate motifs. We start
That's what
with
Dragon
the four
Inquisition
themes
build
and
was that way.
ideas, and the visuals grow organically from there.
From the very start of the project, there was one thing that we absolutely wanted to bring back from older JRPGs. A feature we really loved, but is very rare these days. A completely 3D and navigable world map. Yes, we've got a world map. And it was a
Look
real
at
challenge,
that!
both
Wow.
artistically and technically. And it ended up a lot bigger than we expected.
That's what
You'll
she said.
definitely need SK's help traveling around.
What?
We're super happy with the
That's pretty
result,
wild.
as there's a lot of side paths and entire hidden levels. If you want to fight the toughest bosses of the game, you will have to explore. Good luck.
Jesus.
We've poured our hearts and souls into this game for the past 4 years. That's why we're delighted to announce that Expedition 33 launches on April 24th on Xbox Series X and S and is available day one with Xbox Game Pass. You can already wishlist the game and follow us for more info.
We are super excited to invite you into the world of Expedition 33.
Oh, I'm so excited for them.
We're a passionate team, it's our debut game, and we can't wait for you to discover our story, our world, and our take on the turn-based genre. On behalf of everyone at Sunfall, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow comes.
Demain viendra.
Tomorrow comes.
Demain viendra.
Demain viendra.
Tomorrow comes.
Yeah. If you like JRPGs, man, this is a
Wow.
game. And 4 years and started as a passion project. That's pretty freaking cool.
Well, let's switch this one because we started with me first on the last one. So for you first, so coming from your background
Yeah.
in video games, you're excited with this one.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you're excited with all these, but
I love
what's up with this one?
JRPGs.
Right?
Like the first JRPG I ever
Right.
played was Shining Force.
Okay.
And so
Great one.
I love their narrative. I love how dark it is. The idea of like trying to combine turn-based combat with real-time combat is really interesting, and I'm curious to see
They
how
let you pick.
how they balance that out.
They said they let you
properly.
pick on the, yeah.
Right? Because I mean, if you're used to turn-based, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna play my turn, and then I'll fast
You
forward
can almost
through
put
it.
in auto mode.
Yeah. Where
And then
this
you're
time,
like, wait a minute, there's real time.
where
What?
this time you might, hey, maybe if I like dodge, I can carry some of the attacks, or you can try to incorporate some of those
Yeah.
elements in. And my God, the depth of all the skills that they have, not just the ability tree, but just the additional shit.
Well, they call it luminas, right? So
luminas.
like it's a thing too, which I was like, okay, your characters are the way they are. They're not really customizable in a sense of an appearance
Correct.
standpoint. However, as you're going through the game, it's giving you points where you can unlock certain luminas to do your build. So it lets you customize your build. And I don't know if you guys just saw, that was a lot of fucking
was
customization
a
of
lot.
luminas that you can add.
Yeah.
Like, and they even said, like, you might come up with combos that they haven't even thought of.
Right.
And I'm like, they were scrolling. Okay.
They had
were
a scroll bar that
still-
was still going
they
down.
were still scrolling on these luminas, and
Yeah.
I'm like, how many do you get to pick? 10? Like, but and the skill trees. So obviously, with each lumina that you pick, is going to unlock another. Like, you're going to have a whole skill tree just for that to unlock, the stages of that lumina. And I'm just like, bro, like,
Yeah, and I wonder, like, is there replayability in it where you can just
1,000%.
start back up again and have all of this existing stuff?
That's what they were saying. I
so
mean,
you
it
can go through
might
and
be-
unlock.
It might be end game, or they might be just be like, you can start this, but like if you do another one, like it takes this off, and you have to just, like
You get extra points to be able to add
you
to.
go halfway back on that, and
Yeah.
then you got to build from there,
Yeah.
or like add different luminas. Like it'd be interesting.
Super interesting.
So, what do you think of this story?
Yeah, I mean the idea of there's some massive creature that is every year you start losing more and more people that are that age.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
wild.
called our government. But no, like, and it just says it's almost like that is the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
And like just wipes everyone out,
And
like
just everybody
Thanos.
who's that
Like,
age.
boop,
Yep,
you're
just
done.
snap your fingers and it's
That's
done.
it. Everyone older than is it Leonardo DiCaprio? They're gonna get to 25, bro. And that's it.
That's it.
No,
You're done.
but it's just like it's wow. It's like a race to like come up with this expedition to battle to solve this.
And it's
So
really
life can
interesting because
continue.
it's French, which is
Right.
cool.
And the different worlds and the different color. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
And it's an original concept.
It is. It is. That's why I was like, I play this game for
This
sure.
is great.
Yeah. And it's coming out It's coming out after South by Midnight.
Mhm.
So it's just like you get done with that one.
It's
you got
nice
another
knowing
one
you,
coming.
bro. Let me know how it goes. In case you guys had any late spring plans and early summer plans, you can just scrap those off
Yeah,
the
that's
list.
done. I mean, this one you can spend hundreds of hours playing this game.
This is insane to me.
Yeah, we know somebody who's gonna get this game and play it
Mhm.
a lot.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You. I mean, this is definitely one. Like, yeah, I mean, you just see the elements, the different designs of the character, the different coloring of the different stages of everything like that. Like, it's really, really cool to see that. Like, the skill tree is kind of intimidating, not gonna lie. Like, I'm like, fuck, this keeps rolling with
Again,
your
it's another one of
abilities.
those. It's another one of those where they've thought through a lot of different things, and there's a lot of attention to detail.
Okay, so the main guy, sir, I'm addressing you here. I'm just gonna say, sir, have you ever DM'd before? Because I feel like that's what it is. I feel like this is a dungeon master
Yeah.
that literally linked up and was like, you know what? I prefer JRPGs instead of tabletop, and then he just rolled with it.
Yeah.
And then
Got his boys in. And
right,
said, hey,
he
I
was
got
like,
an
"Hey,
idea. Let's
pulled
go
me
do
up
the
from
thing.
university, quit your job, come over here." And they're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. But then they
They
started
love
just
it.
jamming,
Yeah.
and that's how
It-
great
it-
games start. They start with that vision and the idea, and then they pull somebody else in who can actually do some shit, and then boom, it starts.
You act like you're saying this from experience. Like you kind of know how the foundation of like some game called World of Warcraft started. I'm just kidding.
People get super excited. I mean, and it's being able to convey a vision and getting everybody to see it, and then go, dude, I can do this, or I could do that, or I could take it up a notch. What about us go this way? And people going, fuck yeah, that sounds really good. Let's go do it.
I feel like when you've got people on board with the core, you got people on board with like the hook, because she was saying like, you have all this stuff. Like it's plug and play, everything else, and then working in like you get a team that's super enthusiastic about it, which you know this. I'm preaching to the choir over here. You can move mountains and build greatness and
Yeah.
do things cool with it. And I feel like that's what a lot of big corporate studios lack is the passion of it. People go in, punch a card, do their job, get off. Like to be passionate about bringing something to life. Like everything we've seen here, every studio that so far has been showcased in this, developer direct. We've seen it from like Team Ninja and Platinum Games. We've seen it from Propulsion Games, and now we're seeing it from Sandfall Interactive. Is the passion behind these teams that are front running these games. And you've called it. You called it last year. It's going to be these studios that are going to change the face of video gaming. And I'm really seeing this here.
You're seeing
We're
that it-
seeing
You're
this.
seeing that it takes a while.
I think
mean,
a lot of people aren't aware
4
of that.
years, 3 years, 4 years to
I
make
think a lot of
something.
people aren't aware of that.
Right. To try to rush something out and make it in a short amount of time, you can, but
You're gonna lack all
you're gonna
this.
miss a lot of that attention to the
It's not
details.
fast food.
No, especially when you're doing stuff that has twists on gameplay mechanics, because there's a lot of balance. You have
Look
to
at
think to
this.
yourself, yeah, no, I mean these people were
Look
just,
at the Luminous.
they
Look at
live
that skill
this.
tree.
They live this every single day. They play this fucking game every single
Well,
day.
look how they're working.
and
Do you
they
see
love
their
it.
studio?
Yeah, yeah. I want to work in France like that.
Dude,
So cool.
I'm telling you.
They're probably in like a 400 or 500-year-old building.
Yeah, and they have like a couple of offices, and everyone's just sitting around going, "Here we go,
Let's
do
go,
this."
let's do
Like,
the things.
Super excited. Like everyone get a croissant, and then here we go. Don't yell at me, people that actually speak that right. My dialect is horrible. I know French, but I'm not speaking it. My dialect is trash.
For me, we're 3 for 3 in games that I'm gonna play.
This is better than any PlayStation Direct that I've seen
Oh
in the
yeah,
last
yeah,
10
yeah.
years.
This is good. This is solid.
I love the diversity of so far because we're gonna go through 4. This is the 3rd. I really love the the diversity of what they're bringing,
Mm-hmm.
what they're showcasing,
Yeah.
what these studios that are not, boom, huge names rolling out.
They're smaller studios.
I love this. I love this. I love what we're seeing. They're coming all out this year so far.
So far, so good.
What the hell? How am I supposed to work?
I can't wait to see what Sony's got in store.
Oh, we already know. We already know, bro. I called that last year. Kratos, I love you.
We love Kratos. You're the best.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, this concludes number 3.
Number 3, and then we'll react to the 4th and final one for the Developers Directive for Xbox.
Thank
and
you
the
guys for
next
tuning
video.
in.
Thank you guys for tuning in for this. As always, like, subscribe. Tell us what you think so far of this game or the previous games that we have showcased for you. Let us know your thoughts and feedbacks. Are you excited? Which one do you like better? What do you think of Landfall Interactive? We are very excited to
Very cool.
Sandfall.
Interactive.
See, we got the Expedition 33.
Let's go.
What are you bringing?
33.
All right, guys.
All right, y'all.
Tis
Peace
out.
out.
See you on the next one.